Celtic could be set for a huge cash windfall this transfer window if all goes to plan. We will discuss this and the requirements needed whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic's centre-back situation is shaping up to be one of the more intriguing storylines of the summer transfer window. With Cameron Carter-Vickers firmly established as first choice under Brendan Rodgers, the real question lies in who will partner him next season. Liam Scales ended last season as the preferred option alongside the American, despite the club shelling out £6 million last summer for Austin Trusty, who has struggled for regular minutes. Mike Narocki, signed with high expectations, could be on his way out on loan with interest emerging from his homeland. Gustav Lagerbielke, another defender on the fringe, is also expected to move on. Stephen Welsh is coming off a strong loan spell at KV Mechelen, and his performances have not gone unnoticed, with clubs keeping tabs on the Scottish centre-half. The sheer number of options has left Celtic needing to shift players before any new additions are made at the back. Burns believes Celtic won't move for a new centre-back until they shift some of the current options. The club are thought to be in talks with Japanese defender Hayato Inamura from Albirex Niigata, but any deal is likely to depend on players leaving first. With a number of defenders already on decent wages, space and budget will need to be freed up before anyone else is brought in. The interest in Hayato Inamura shows Celtic are looking to strengthen, but they'll need to clear space before anything happens. The J-League has been a reliable market for Celtic in recent years, and Inamura fits the profile of players who've settled quickly at the club. Burns also raised doubts over Austin Trusty's future. Despite costing Celtic £6 million, he fell out of favour under Brendan Rodgers and rarely featured towards the end of the season. It's unclear if he'll accept a place on the bench going forward. He said this: "I think that's dependent on players going out. I think there's Narocki, Stephen Welsh, you've still got a few there. When you put the wages together, they're still quite heavy, so if you get rid of 2 or 3 of them, then you could probably look to bring in one decent quality centre-half. The other one might be as well that Trusty will he remain at Celtic Park. He fell out of the picture there at the end of the season. Celtic paid a lot of money for Austin Trusty and he hasn't been getting a game. I don't think he'll be happy to sit on the bench," he concluded. Austin Trusty is a particular headache. Signed for big money just last summer, he barely featured as the season wore on. He'll either need to break back into the team or go elsewhere to get regular football. What happens with him could set the tone for the rest of Celtic's defensive business. For now, supporters shouldn't expect a quick move in that area. Celtic will need to move players out first before they can bring anyone in at the back. Celtic's current position shows how tricky squad management can be. There are too many centre-backs on the books and several of them haven't played much. The club now has to decide whether to move some of them on or give them another chance under Rodgers. Now for the main story. Former Celtic midfielder Matt O'Reilly could be on the move again, and it might have a knock-on effect for the Hoops. The Danish playmaker, who joined Brighton for £25 million last summer, is said to prefer a switch to Italian side Roma if he leaves the Premier League this window. Celtic are watching closely as they reportedly included a sell-on clause in his Brighton deal. If the Seagulls sell him for more than they paid, Celtic are said to be due a cut of the profit. That clause already helped the club cash in this summer when Jeremy Frimpong moved from Bayer Leverkusen to Liverpool, triggering another payment from a past deal. However, things might not be so simple this time. Brighton are believed to want around £30 million for O'Reilly, but Roma are working under financial fair play restrictions. Reports in Italy say they've spoken to O'Reilly's representatives and are keen to bring him to Serie A, but they might only be able to offer a loan deal just now, with an agreement to buy him fully next summer. If that happens, it could delay or even reduce the money Celtic would receive, depending on how the deal is structured. With Roma needing to balance the books by the end of June, their hands are tied for now. O'Reilly is understood to be patient about the move. He's attracted interest in Italy before, with Atalanta boss Gianpiero Gasperini trying to sign him during his time at Celtic. Now, at Roma, Gasperini still rates him highly. The 24-year-old is also believed to be frustrated with how he's being used at Brighton. Under manager Fabian Hürzeler, he's not being played in his usual position, while Jorginho Rutter has been given the central role in midfield. That could be another factor pushing him towards the exit door. Celtic will be hoping any transfer brings in more cash to support their summer plans. But if Roma push for a delayed payment or structure a complicated deal, the outcome might not be as rewarding as the Frimpong Windfall. Talks are still ongoing and Brighton are in no rush to sell, so this story could drag on into July. For now, O'Reilly remains a Brighton player. But with Roma interested and the player open to the move, Celtic have good reason to keep a close eye on what happens next. In other news, Celtic are reportedly in the mix to sign West Ham midfielder Andy Irving this summer. The Hoops are not the only side interested, but they are currently seen as the most likely destination if a move goes ahead. Hearts, where Irving began his career, are also keeping an eye on the situation. The Tynecastle club are believed to be interested in bringing him back. Several clubs in England's Championship have also shown interest, but Celtic's position looks strongest at the moment. A move to Celtic would give Irving the chance to play regular European football and compete for trophies. That may prove too good to turn down, especially when compared to other options on the table. Having spent time in Austria and then moving to West Ham, Irving has picked up experience at different levels. He's still only 25 and fits the homegrown rule for European competition, which is a big plus for Celtic when registering squads. Journalist Scott Burns has reported that Brendan Rodgers is targeting 2 midfielders this summer. The Irishman wants to add a defensive option to compete with Callum McGregor and also bring in a more box-to-box type of player. Irving could be a good fit for one of those roles. He said this: "Well, it would certainly fill into what Brendan Rodgers is looking for, that this summer 2 central midfielders are definitely on his wish list and a winger, and he's obviously well on the road with his winger when he's got a Benjamin Nygren. And he also fits the homegrown build, which is important for the European stage now for this Celtic squad. So I don't think it would be a bad bit of business, but certainly Brendan Rodgers wants to get 2 in that area, a defensive midfielder and a box-to-box midfielder. So you would expect that one to tick the boxes in there," Burns concluded. Celtic are building for another big season, both in Scotland and in Europe. Rodgers wants his midfield to be stronger and more flexible. Irving is known for being good on the ball and strong in tackles with the ability to carry the ball forward when needed. The Hoops are not short on midfielders, but Rodgers clearly wants more competition and depth. McGregor has played a huge number of games over recent years, and adding someone who can either play alongside him or give him a rest is smart planning. Hearts will hope their past connection with Irving can help, but they can't compete with what Celtic can offer. The lure of European football and playing under a top manager like Rodgers could seal the deal. With a few key additions, Rodgers will be confident his squad can go again next season and aim to make a better impact in Europe while staying ahead in the league. Lastly, Celtic are reportedly said to be interested in signing Shin Yamada from Kawasaki Frontale this summer. The 25-year-old forward has been in good form in Japan and could be the next player to make the move from the J-League to Scottish football. Celtic are looking to add more strength to their attack, and Yamada's name has come up as a possible signing. Yamada has made a strong impression this season with his goals and overall play. He is quick, smart with his movement, and knows how to find the net. His performances have caught the attention of scouts outside Japan, with Celtic now thought to be among the clubs following his progress closely. Despite reports linking him with a move to Glasgow, Yamada has stayed calm about the situation. He was asked about the interest and chose not to say too much. Instead, he made it clear that his main focus is on doing well in his next match for Kawasaki Frontale. This shows that the player is not letting the transfer talk distract him. Celtic have often looked to Asia in the past when adding to their squad. The club has had success bringing in players from Japan, and they may be hoping Yamada could be another success story. Whether or not a deal can be done remains to be seen, but there is growing interest in the forward. He said, "Right now, I want to do my best in the next game." This possible move fits with how Celtic have gone about their business recently. They are always looking for players who can improve the squad, and Yamada is someone who might fit the bill. With his age and skill set, he could bring something different to the team's forward options. The summer window is important for Brendan Rodgers as he looks to strengthen for another run at the league title and Europe. Celtic need to be smart in the market and find players who can step in and make a difference. Yamada is not the only option, but he seems to be high on the list. Moving from Japan to Scotland is a big change, but it has worked well for others before. Celtic have had good results with Japanese players in the past, and the club understands what it takes to help them settle. If they go ahead with a move for Yamada, it would likely be with a full plan to help him adjust quickly. It is still early days in the transfer window, but names like Yamada show that Celtic are active and looking ahead. Whether or not this one happens, fans can expect more movement in the coming weeks as the club gets ready for a big season. The interest in Yamada is a sign that Celtic are aiming to add quality where it matters most. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.